You guys all want to come in here a minute? We got a couple minutes. There's supposed to be a couple more people, but you might not be able to make it either. I'm Ryan, which I'm sure you guys all know since you signed up. But for everybody that's in the stands, name's Ryan Sims. I live in Pella, Iowa. RS Performance Horses. All right. Today clinic's supposed to be over reining. Reining is it's a fun and exciting event. They call it the dressage of the Western world. We're going to kind of start to do here first is do some circles. Where you start just like you would a colt. I'm going to do with my horse is I'm going to put my head down on his neck, okay? And I'm just going to look in that circle that I want to go in. And like here, he kind of drifted off to the gate. So I'm going to square turn him off, okay? I'm going to put him right back down into my circle. And I'm not touching his face, I'm just turning him loose here, okay? And he should follow that same path all the way around the arena, all right? And anytime he wants to drift out or not stay right underneath me, he's a little fresh yet. Right underneath me, I'm going to square turn him off. So say he drifts over here, I'm going to pick up, steer across my circle, and put him right back in it, okay? Now I'm just going to keep doing that over and over. A lot of times those colts, you're going to pick up and steer. You're not even going to make it halfway around the circle, okay? Before they start drifting out. So you'll be doing a lot of steering. And you'll feel like, Ryan, all I'm doing is steering around. I'm not even following a circle anymore. It's not. The point is to keep them between your reins and between your legs. So you might feel like you're square turning and just steering them around all the time. But eventually, when your hand is down in the middle of their neck, they just stay there, okay? Then every time you pick it up, they move to get back underneath your hand again. Does that make sense to you guys? All right, when you're steering a horse, you need to capture them from the outside of their body, which goes both ways, okay? Because I'm in my left circle here, I want him to stay off my right rein, okay? Now, if he's ducking in, I need to pick up with my left rein and steer him back out, okay? Not pull him his nose in that direction, like this, okay? Because let me show you something. Because you pull a horse's nose, look, I got this horse's nose all the way over to the right. And which way is he going? Huh? Which way is he going? He's still going straight ahead, isn't he? Okay? Now I'm making him do it, but that shows you that just because you pull that horse's nose that way, that doesn't mean he's going to turn, okay? Because there's nothing stopping his body from going this direction. Now if I do this, okay, and I all of a sudden put my outside rein on him, see how he all of a sudden turns in. Because then I shut that door and picked up and he came off my neck rein, okay? So it's important that when we're steering these horses that we focus on, if I'm going to turn right, they need to stay off my left rein and steer out that way. If I'm going to turn left, they need to steer off my right rein and stay between my hands, okay? And when you plow rein, it doesn't stop them from going anywhere. You guys follow that? If you ever climbed on a colt, you pick up, and they're going this way, and you're like, please turn, okay? All right? That's the importance of, even on my colts from day one, I need to teach them to get off that outside rein. That's why we do these drills. So it's so important that they stay right between my hands all the time. And it doesn't matter what event you're doing. I don't care if it's a dressage horse. I don't care what it is. Those horses have to stay between my hands, because I can do all the movements a dressage horse does off my inside reins with this horse, but what makes them turn is that outside rein. It makes their feet follow their nose, okay? That outside of their body has to follow in that direction. Does that make sense? If you watch in front of me here, if I'm going to lope off, okay, I'm going to tip that nose in. See that hip step into the inside? Okay, I can travel a straight line with that nose in and that hip slightly in. Okay, that's the body position I want to lope off. Okay, now I'm going to hold that body position. If you ever watch any of the reining classes or anything like that, you'll watch all those guys come to the center of the arena. You'll see them pick up on their horse and step that hip to the inside. Okay, and that shoulder needs to stay stood up right in front of you. Okay, where it's not cutting in. It needs to go in a straight line. And then all they do is kiss and lope off. Okay, you got that horse in a perfect body position to take the correct lead. Okay, so you want that hip in, you want to pick out a straight line. They need to stay in a straight line. That shoulder needs to stay up in front of you. You know, if I pick a post out down there, shoulder needs to stay in front of me, that hip stay in. When he's got the right body position, all I do is kiss. Okay? And lope off in that body position. He should hold the same body position. Okay? And even if he's not, I'm going to go ahead and break down, push that hip over, keep that chin in. I'm going to do it again. Okay? I'm going to try and hold that same body position for a few strides before I turn him loose completely. Okay? You see that? Now, I was doing it in a straight line there. When we're going to do a circle, we're going to do the same thing, but we need to hold that body position for at least a stride before we start our circle. So I'm going to start here, okay? Step my hip in. And I need to lope straight for a stride or two before I go into my circle, okay? Or hold that shoulder up. See how that started that circle? Symmetrical, how it didn't cut it off. Otherwise what happens is, if I start at this cone, I'm off the cone. If I start at the cone, okay, I step that hip in, I let that horse just dive off. Look, I just cut that whole quarter of my circle off over there, okay? That's why it's important to be able to hold that shoulder up in front of you and travel in a straight line for at least a stride, okay? And if he's bad about ducking, I'm going to go ahead and steer him off the other direction, okay? You can counter canter him or just steer right to your cone so they get used to that. Ooh. But they need to go straight for a stride or so. Start talking about turnarounds a little bit, okay? Turnarounds for a reining horse, they're real. You know, when you go to the shows, they turn around really fast, and it looks really neat. But as a colt, we're going to start with one step, okay? And we're going to focus on one thing. We're going to get that inside leg out of the way, okay? What I mean by that is, if I'm going to turn to the right, okay, this inside leg, for them to cross over, needs to move out of the way. So it needs to step from here to here, okay? It can't step from here to here, else they can't cross over, okay? So it needs to come from here to here. So it gets out of the way, and this leg can clear over the top of it. So from right away, when we're starting the horse do this, I'll just walk circle, okay? I'll just walk a circle here. Now, this is where having good timing with your horse will really help you, okay? Now, when I'm walking around here, you're going to feel your right leg come off the ground and back on the ground. Come off the ground, okay? So in my head, I want to think right, 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 okay? And I don't want to have to look at it, okay? Now, the importance of that is we're teaching a young horse to step out of the way, okay? And even an old horse, it's important to go back and really keep that leg stepping in the right direction. So, once again, I'm going to think about that timing of right, 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 right. So, when I go to steer, okay, I'm going to think about moving that leg out of the way, so I'm going to help that horse step over, okay? I'm going to pick up with my inside hand right there with that leg and pick up and show him where to go with it, okay? It might be one step or two steps at first with a colt. But the important part is you need to step first with that inside leg and step it out of the way, okay? Then I might let him walk forward, okay? But my inside hand, all it's doing is showing that leg where to go, okay? So if my hand had a string attached to it and attached to that front leg, okay, I want to think about, I'm going to pick up that foot, set it here. Pick up that foot, set it here, okay? So that horse, you do this over and over to where it becomes second nature to them, to where that inside foot steps first, out of the way, okay? And if you're having a hard time, this is where doing those circles earlier, steering them off the outside, will come into some play. But sometimes horses want to get sticky at first and not move their front end, okay? And then you can do it on a wall, where I'll come over to a wall, okay? I could trot, I can walk, go down the wall, okay? And I might turn them into that wall. I'm going to think inside leg, step it out of the way, and go back down. Do the same thing here. I'm going to turn them into the fence, pick up with that inside leg, and steer them out, okay? And my hand's picking up with that inside leg every time, okay? And that's a lot of times where I start my colts, is right there on the wall, is them just getting their ribs out of the way and moving through, okay? Where they can't go forward, so that I'm just going to use my leg and push them on through. So if some of you guys, when we start doing some of this, I'm going to have you come on the wall. We're going to go down the wall. We're going to turn into it and make that front end come through. We got to get that front end moving and getting out of the way. So I'm going to stop, step with that inside leg, and go. Same thing. Stop, step with that inside leg, and go. Okay, that'll get that horse freed up and moving that front end. So that should transition right into that turnaround to get their feet moving in that tempo. Ooh. Does that make sense? Another maneuver in the reining is a stop. Okay, and in the reining they want you to do a sliding stop. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, I'm going to back him up and get him soft here, because the last time he kind of wanted to push on me a little, and roll back through and soften him up again. Okay, it's really important that you really have good control of their face when you're working on this maneuver, because this maneuver can really bite you in the rear end if you don't. Okay. Whoa. Real sticky. I'm going to back him up. Okay, get him soft, where he's relaxed. And roll him back through, okay? When I practice, I'm going to take my time and make sure he's being patient, okay? Because otherwise you rush it, they're gonna start fighting you. Whoa. Okay, the same maneuver. Then you need to start mixing in, doing it without backing them up. But you got to get them soft. Whoa. That's where doing stuff like we did earlier on the fence, okay, where we were rolling through the fence. It's the same deal.